Children, we are discussing the chapter 11, that is motion and measurement of distances. What is motion? When an object changes its position with respect to a reference or a stationary point, that object is said to be in motion. जब भी कोई एक ऑब्जेक्ट बच्चे अपनी जगह बदलता है किसी एक स्टेशनरी या एक रेफरेंस पॉइंट के रिस्पेक्ट में, then that object is said to be in motion. Next, which we had discussed in this chapter, was story of transport. In earlier times, the people used to walk on their feet and then they changed their place from one to another. After that, they domesticate the animals, they domesticate the horses, the donkeys, and by those animals, by that domesticated animals, the people used to travel from one place to another. Then, as the discovery of wheel occurs, after the discovery of wheel, the carts are to be formed. And then the people used to travel by the help of carts, like bullock carts or the horse carts are used to travel from one place to another. Next, bache. After that, a steam engine was discovered. Steam engine revolutionized the transport. Steam engine is used for the quick transport in the trains as well as in the motorboats to travel over the water. Then ships are to be, operated by the help of that steam engine, and those ships also travel the distances much more easily and with taking less time. Nowadays, transport is more advanced. The petrol and diesel operated automobiles are there, but spaceships are there which works on liquid nitrogen, and by those spaceships we used to travel in the outer space. Next is measurement. What is measurement? The process of comparing the unknown quantity with the standard unit of measurement. That comparison is known as measurement. What is a physical quantity? The quantities which we can measure easily, which can be measured easily, are known as physical quantities, like mass, length, time, temperature, volume, area. All those quantities which we can measure easily are known as physical quantities. Next, to measure them, we have certain units. Earlier units was inaccurate and not reliable. They are not convenient. Why? The earlier units was handspan, cubit, the arm length, fathom, the stretched out arms. These are certain units which we use in our earlier times. The pace, the foot. But those units varies from person to person. That is why these units are not reliable and not accurate. So, for the sake of convenience and for the sake of uniformity, we make certain standard units. And those units were discovered in 1960s, and the name was placed on the basis of French name, and that name is Standard International Unit, that is SI unit. The SI unit of mass is kilogram. The SI unit of length or distance is meter. The SI unit of time is seconds. The SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. These quantities are made in other units as well, but there is one fixed standard unit, Standard International Unit. And for length it is meter, either or though length can be measured in centimeters, kilometers, miles, light years, but still the SI unit of length is meter. Next, the SI unit of time is seconds. But can we measure the time only in seconds? No. We can measure the time in minutes as well, in hours as well, but the Standard International Unit of time is seconds. Next, there is term written NPL. What is NPL or what it stands for? NPL stands for National Physical Laboratory, which is situated in New Delhi. This laboratory has a basic standard unit as 1 kilogram as well as 1 meter. And by comparing that unit, we make certain measuring devices like ruler, measuring tape. Those units are used to measure the length of a device, length of a distance, length between the 2 points. Next, rules for writing the symbols. The units which we write in the form of symbols has to be followed under certain rules. The first one is the symbol will never be followed up by a full stop. For example, meter is not written as like this. Meter is written as this without full stop. Kilogram is never written as K dot G dot. It is written as kg. So symbols are never followed up by a full stop. Next, symbols are never written as in their plural forms. For example, meters is not written like this. It's correct in this way. If I want to write 100 centimeters, then this is the incorrect representation. 100 centimeters written as like this only. So the symbols are always written without the full stop. Symbols are always written in the singular forms, and symbols are always written in the form of their small letters. So these are the rules for writing the symbols. Now we'll revise the conversion of units. How we can convert the units, the larger into the smaller ones, or the smaller units into the larger ones. The question is written on the board bache as the distance between the two bus stops is 3,540 centimeters. Sorry, 40 meters. Now you have to express this meter distance first in kilometers and then in centimeters. That is first in the larger unit, and the second one is in the smaller unit. So first we'll do the first part, that is in kilometers. What is given to us? Distance in meters is given to us, that is 3540 meters. We know that 1 kilometer is equals to 1000 meter, or you can say 1 meter is equals to 1 by 1000 kilometer. Bring this 1000 on this side, it will become a denominator. Next, so distance in meter will be equals to 3540, sorry, in kilometer will be equals to 3540 by 1000 kilometer. If you cut it down, you will get 3.54 kilometer. So that's how you can convert a unit which is given in meters into a larger unit, is kilometers. So if we are converting the smaller unit into the larger one, we are dividing it. It would be a submultiple. Next, B. What is given? Same bache, the distance is given to us in meters, that is 3540 meters. We know that 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeter. If we want to convert that meter into centimeters, what we have to do is we have to multiply. So now the distance in centimeter will be equals to 3540, here meter is written. If you want to convert meter into centimeter, then you have to multiply it with 100 centimeter. So that will be the answer in centimeters. So if we are converting the bigger unit into the smaller one, we are multiplying it. If we are doing the reversal, that is converting the smaller unit into the larger one, then we are dividing it. Next we'll discuss how do we measure the length. For the measuring of length, we require a scale bache. It is very much necessary that we must place the scale in a straight position to measure the card, to measure a cardboard, to measure a length bache. Next thing, for measuring it, on the left side we'll place the 0, or on the right side. the 0 must be written on the same point from which we start to measure the length, where we start to measure the distance. For example, if I want to measure the distance between A and B, then I have to place the 0 at A, and then so on. The readings are to be calculated till here. This will gives me the reading in centimeters regarding this card, that is from A to B. Now bachcho, we'll discuss how do we measure a length by the help of a measuring tape. This is the measuring tape bache. This is the cardboard which I want to measure. So on the leftmost corner I am placing the 0. This is 0 mark bache. And then I am stretching it out, and that's how I measure this length, and this length is equals to 10, 20, 30 and 36 centimeters. So this is the length of this cardboard, that is 36 centimeters. So that's how we measure the length by the help of a measuring tape. Next topic which we have to discuss is precautions which is to be taken in mind while measuring a distance, while measuring a length by using a scale. There are certain precautions which are necessary while measuring a length. The first one is placement of a scale. Scale must be placed along the length of the measurement or length of the measuring device which we are using. As the diagram represents, bache, in the first we are measuring the length of a card, and the scale is placed exact in the parallel position, as in the straight line over that card. Whereas in the second figure, the scale is slightly tilted. In this case, the measurement will be inaccurate, and in this case, the measurement will be accurate. So this is the correct placement of scale over the card, over the measurement object, and this is the incorrect placement of the scale. So scale should be placed along the length of the object which is to be measured. If it is tilted, then the measurement error will be there, and measurement will be inaccurate. So for the first precaution, bache, this is the measuring tape, this is the scale, and scale must be placed along with the length of the object. For example, I want to measure the length of this cardboard. This is approximately 36 centimeter, and the scale is placed straight. If I tilt this scale like this, now the reading shown in this scale is more than 36, which is inaccurate. अब बच्चे अब ध्यान से अगर आप अब देखिए तो ये लेंथ जो है बच्चे, इसको मैंने टिल्ट कर दिया है. अब यहां पर रीडिंग क्या आ रही है? 37 approximately. So this length varies if I place the scale in the different position, but if I placed it straight, then only I get the accurate measurement. So a scale must be placed along with the length of the object to be measured. Next precaution is worn out ends. Due to repeated use of a scale, sometimes the 0 mark of a scale is not clearly visible. Or due to excessive use of a scale, sometimes the ends of a scale will be worn out or will be broken down. In that case, you can't measure the scale from 0 mark. So in that case, we have to place the other distance at starting point. For example, in this given figure, we want to measure the length of this card, that is from A to B, and I have a worn out scale with me. The starting point of that scale, which I placed at A, is 1 centimeter, and the end point is 5 centimeter. So the length will be equals to 5 minus 1, that is 4 centimeter. बच्चे अगर मान लो 0 नहीं दिख रही है बच्चे, एंड पर 0 साफ नहीं है, तो क्या करो, और कोई पॉइंट आगे रख लो. अगर बच्चों if I place 2 here, then it will be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then also the distance will be equals to 6 minus 2, 4. So if the scale is worn out or we don't have a clear 0 mark on our scale, then make the other starting point as the first unit, and then subtract the final unit from the starting point. You will get the accurate reading or measurement of that particular length or that particular distance. The next precaution is position of the eye. The eye must be placed just above the end point of which we are measuring the length. जो बच्चे हमारा आई का लेवल है वो बिल्कुल एंड पॉइंट के ऊपर होना चाहिए, वो एंड पॉइंट जिसे हम मापना चाहते हैं. As we know बच्चे, for the starting point we place 0 of the scale at the starting point. Then we have to measure the distance at the end point. Let us suppose these are the two positions X. From here the person is observing this final end point. These are incorrect position. These are wrong. As in these cases, the person can be done an error. The person can perform an error while measuring the distance. But the correct position is just above the final end. The final reading. So the correct position is just placed above it. So the position of eye must be just above the final end point बच्चे. जो correct position होनी चाहिए वो आँख की कहाँ होनी चाहिए? बिल्कुल end point के ऊपर. Neither on the right side or neither on the left side. So this is what important precaution to be taken care of while measuring the length. Discuss measurement of a curved line. We cannot measure a curved line by the help of a meter rod or a meter scale, as it is a straight scale which can only be useful in measuring the straight distances. To measure the curved line, we need a thread. First, we measure that curved line by the help of a thread, and then we measure the length of that thread. For example, if you want to measure this curved line from A to this particular point, then what you have to do is you have to take a thread, a long thread. Tie the one end a knot. No, just this knot. You can make it a double one so that it can be clearly visible to you. You can make it a triple one also to make it more clear. So that knot at the end will act as a starting point. Place this knot at one end and then take this thread along with that line, along with that curved line. Do this thing in the small partitions bache, as it will be very difficult to hold this thread. And by measuring these small distances, you will measure the length of this curved line. So that's how you will measure this length. So from here to this point, the length of the line is this much. This thread can be measured with the help of a scale. And if you measure the length of this scale, this thread by the help of a scale, you will get the length from A to this particular point. Say this point is B. So that's how you will measure a curved line. For the rest of that, you will follow the same procedure. From here you can start and then measure the whole curved line by the help of this thread. So to measure a curved line, we cannot use a meter scale or a meter rod. To measure a curved line, we require a thread. First, move along that thread along with that curved line, then make it straight and measure its length. So this is the procedure to measure the curved line. Now we will discuss approximation. Approximation is a quick judgment about a measurement. For example, sometimes we say, I will reach there in 5 minutes. That is not the accurate measurement of time for reaching us to that particular point. We may or we may not be reached to that particular point in 5 minutes. That depends on our speed. So that is what the judgment is. You will judge that whether you are taller or shorter than your friend by just looking at him or her. So that is a judgment. Our mother is adding sugar to the milk. That is not measured in kilogram or grams. That is to be added, as an approximation. It is either 1 spoon or 2 spoons, 3 spoons. So that is a judgment, approximation. Next, our mother is adding salt or oil to cook the food. That is also not measured in the grams or in the mLs, milliliters. It is also used by approximation. As your mother is trained to cook the food, so she knows very well that how much approximately salt or water or salt or oil can be added to fry that particular item. Next thing, bache, paints used by the painter to paint a wall or for painting particular thing is just taken as an approximation, is a judgment. He cannot tell you that 50 gram or 50 ml of paint is required for that. Next, number of bricks required to make a wall. That is also taken as an approximation value.